Morning everyone, and welcome to today's trading analysis on the 25th of January 2022. And I thought of the saying, when in doubt, zoom out. So let's get right into the charts and zoom out a little bit so we can see where Bitcoin and crypto is at the moment. Where's the stock market? Maybe we can see some clues. So I've gone right into the monthly chart. As you can see, this is Bitcoin right from the start. Unfortunately, my chart only goes back to about 2012. But what is interesting here is you can see this exponential rise that crypto has had is starting to deplete. So is starting to lose momentum. You can see there that line there, and then you can see it's rising slightly less, and then even slightly less. So we can expect in the next few years, even if we have to come down to here or here or something, that the exponential rise would be even less. So if you had to take the chart out, you can clearly see that we are losing momentum. So that's not necessarily a negative thing. It just means that the exponential rise that we had in the beginning was quite extreme. I mean, you really have to look at this and say this was a 60,000% rise. So it was really exponential. But for now, let's have a look at when you're looking at the monthly. You can see that on a monthly chart that we did have a slightly marginally higher high here, with quite a big divergence on the RSI, and this was evident at the time. For some reason, I chose to ignore it. I thought maybe it was some sort of a bullish sign. I was clearly wrong, but looking at it now, it was pretty clear. Hindsight in trading is the easiest thing. It's always easy to see. But going forward, we can see now that we are making quite an extreme lower low, and we are still trading at a higher low on the monthly chart. So if we have to look right in there, you can see that we are still trading on a higher high from the Elon Musk drop with a lower low on the RSI. So that is a bullish divergence. So if the price had to turn around here, at least there is something on a larger scale that we can look at. On the weekly chart, I've gone back all the way to the beginning as well, and unfortunately you can't look right here in the beginning because it's too early to say. This is really, the chart only started. But since about 2014 or 2012, let's say it for the last 10 years, Bitcoin's only been able to go on the RSI in this oversold position 4 times. Once, which signaled the bottom of the 2015 bear market. The second time, when we signaled the 2019 bottom of that bear market that started at 2018. When we had the big COVID drop, which was a bit of a black swan event. And today, as you can see, we are now under that. So only 4 times in the last 10 years have Bitcoin been this oversold. On the daily scale, you can see the same. Bitcoin's also, if I have to go back down to 2013, 2014, it's once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So only 10 times in the last 10 years, Bitcoin has had this oversold conditions on a daily scale. And even after the Elon Musk drop, it wasn't even as low as what we are at the moment. So having said that, we can also look at the Elon Musk drop versus now. We have made a slightly lower low. If you can look at that and zoom in, you can even see that we are trading at a lower low on the RSI and a higher low if it had to turn around at this point. Looking at the funding rate, you can see there's a sustained period of negative funding. This is started all the way from November, And the previous time that this happened was almost the same amount of time. We had this sort of negative funding rate. And just to explain what happens is retail traders, what they do is, if they have to go short, what they would do is they put their stop loss above the previous high. So there would be a bunch of liquidity there would be a bunch of liquidity here, a bunch of liquidity here. This once would have been stopped out. There would be some liquidity there, some there, and possibly some there now. So what you'd find is you have these pockets of liquidity. Now, if a short squeeze would have to happen, all that would need to happen, I would say the whales need to push it in here. The short squeeze would push it up to that. It would trigger a cascade of shorts going up as the price moves up, as these people are getting liquidated on the opposite side. So that is the short squeeze that I'm waiting for. Hopefully I won't be waiting too long for that. XRP on the weekly scale are now formed a new pattern. It looks like a descending triangle, which is very negative. If you look at the support that it's had all the way from December 2017, XRP hasn't been trading much before that. You can see in this area, the zone, it was support, then resistance, support, and now we are back there. Hopefully this is turning support. If the price had to move up to this area and get rejected and come back down here, it's almost certain that it would break down, back down to this area. That unfortunately is a super low target, and I would definitely be selling my crypto if we get rejected here and break out and come back down there. If we can manage to break up here and through that, the target still remains $2.60. What you can also see is from the COVID drop to now, there is a bullish divergence. So we are having a bullish divergence on the RSI, and hopefully this will bring us up back to the top of this descending triangle. What I would just suggest is my personal trading plan looking at this. I would probably sell some crypto in this area and use this as a no trade zone for now. On the daily scale, the same. You can see XRP has been falling into the zone and is in the oversold conditions. So hopefully that is enough to push it back up to this area. Of course, the catalyst was the stock market yesterday. Again, you can see the stock market has made a lower low. But what is interesting, you can see that it broke through the 200-day moving average. Now we have to look at the 200-day moving average and see that in the past, it usually comes back. We can go right back into, 2000 and where are we? 2015. You can see it can go underneath it a little bit, but generally it just comes back to retest it, and then it just, even if it dips down, it doesn't last very long, and it just comes back to retest it. This big drop here was the COVID drop, but as you can see, even after the COVID drop, it recovered quite quickly and started to trade above the 200-day moving average. So a retest back of the 200-day moving average isn't necessarily a bad thing. So let's just see if how long we're going to stay below it. But definitely, looking at the past, the S&P is sort of comfortable trading above the 200-day moving average. The dollar has strengthened by this drop, and you can see that it came back to test this neckline. Unfortunately, it didn't play out as I expected. I thought the dollar coming back here would be a positive effect on crypto, but unfortunately it didn't. And I would expect the dollar to do something like this now, move up to this resistance, maybe camp here for a while, and then move back up to the 100. In my opinion, I think the dollar is going to strengthen over the next year. By mid this year, we will have a strong dollar again, and we will see what effect that will have on the markets. So all in all, I think It is difficult to trade at the moment. Fear and Greed index is on 12 and 10 and 11. People are super fearful. The markets are falling. This, of course, is not for your average guy to go and buy in conditions like this. But generally, this is a good time to be accumulating. Certainly, in my opinion, not a time to short the market. Shorting the market will just cause you tremendous trouble. Shorting the market when crypto is at absolute all-time lows on the indicators is super high risk. I'm not saying that you will lose. I'm just saying it is extremely high risk. So for now, I think the best strategy would be to specifically on XRP to see if we can recover back to descending triangle's grime line. If we can do that, possibly offload some and then see how you're going to take it from there. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and let's see you on the next one.